Homer. First line is the little can be said about Homer. We do not know many things about Homer. Ancient Greek tradition as well as a study of the language and style of the poems. But studying Iliad and the ancient Greek tradition, that means the Greek civilization tradition, indicates that he probably lived and wrote sometime in 8th or 9th century BC. That means from 3,200 years back from this year. But no more definite date can be determined when Homer was born. In ancient times, 7 different cities in ancient times, at the time of Homer's writing, it was claimed that 7 different cities claimed the honor of having been his birthplace. So Homer was as an important poet. There is no specific place or year of Homer's birth, but he was so famous, Homer was so famous that these 7 cities, they said that Homer was born in our country, so Homer is our poet. Another country said Homer is our poet. He was so famous, but none of this assertion can be validated. However, Homer may have come from island of Chios. Chios or Chios, pronunciation you can read, but some Chios on the western coast of Asia Minor. Asia Minor. Some information we have got. In earlier times, a family of the same name lived 3 and claimed him as an ancestor and devoted themselves to the recitation of his works. Okay, and they said that actually we get the clue that Homer was born in Chios or Chios, 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 and that Chios is an area of Asia Minor. Asia Minor at present is present Turkey. Okay, like that. So whether he came from Chios or not, it is highly probable that Homer was a native and resident of some parts of Eastern Greece. Eastern Greece. It's not necessary to take pictures. I will be getting you all slides in your email address. Okay, and whether and some part of Eastern Greece or Asia Minor for the dialect he used in his works in that of ancient Asian Greeks. So how it can be determined that he was from ancient Greece? Actually কবিতার মধ্যে যে কথাগুলো ডায়ালেক্টগুলো ভাষাগুলো ব্যবহার করেছে এবং ঘটনাগুলোর বর্ণনা দিয়েছে সেগুলো থেকে বোঝা যায় যে he was anywhere from Greece or Asia Minor. That is his birthplace. Tradition has it that Homer was blind, but the evidence of this idea is unreliable. সেই সময় তো আসলে ক্যামেরাই আবিষ্কৃত হয় না, স্ট্যাচু হয়তো ছিল, একটা স্ট্যাচু পাওয়া যায় তার ছবি, সেখানে ব্লাইন্ড দেখা যায়, বাট it was claimed that the information was unreliable. The evidence is based on the portrayal of the Odyssey of a blind minstrel who sings a poem about the fall of Troy. Okay, so we have seen another, we have another epic poem written by Homer, that is Odyssey. In that Odyssey, and minstrel was a poet or a singer singed about the fall of Troy, and there that singer was blind. So there was a clue that he might be blind. But there is no reason to believe that the poet was describing himself in this scene. Throughout the 2 epics, that means Iliad and Odyssey, no consistent autobiographical information exists, and no other literature of the period survives that describes the poet. Actually, it's about 3,200 years back. Okay, so at that time we have only these 2 epic poems, that is Iliad and Odyssey, and written by Homer. So whether Homer was born in this year or in this year or in this place or in this place or not, we have not got any other literature. Okay. That is the information. But the early Greeks insisted that there was a single individual named Homer to whom they ascribed the Iliad and the Odyssey. The Greeks, একটা ক্লু আমরা পেয়েছি যে গ্রিকের কোনো একটা জায়গায় সে জন্মগ্রহণ করেছিল, যদিও 7টা শহর তার বার্থ প্লেস, বাট এই জন্য গ্রিকরা তারা অ্যাট্রিবিউট করেছে 2টো এপিক পোয়েম, দ্যাট ইজ Iliad and Odyssey on Homer. That these are written by a single poet. His name is Homer. And however, around the century BC, the so-called Homeric question was first propounded. Several of the grammarians of this time asserted that Iliad and the Odyssey were actually composed by the two different writers. Okay, so there is another clue. So at various times, later European cities supported this view. Another school of thought, especially popular in the 19th century, claims that Homer never lived, and that the two epics are the collective works of the group of anonymous men. Beowulf is written by anonymous writer. We don't know. In the same way, some claim that actually these two epic poems, that is Iliad and Odyssey, is the collection of several traditions. That is, these two epic poems are not entirely written by a single poet, that is Homer. That is another explanation. So this scholar suggested that two poems were constantly revised and added. Okay. It is what type of epic poem? Primary epic poem. Primary epic poem is oral. Okay. So another critics, they said that actually these are compiled. This Iliad and Odyssey are compiled of many oral incidents. অনেকগুলো গল্প বিভিন্ন জায়গায় চালু ছিল, এই সমস্ত গল্পগুলো কি করা হয়েছে, এক জায়গায় কম্পাইল করা হয়েছে, পরে কি করা হয়েছে, তার নাম দেওয়া হয়েছে কার নামে? Homer's name. That and this scholar suggests that the two poems are constantly revised and added to whenever they were recited and didn't reach their present form until the 6th century BC, when in Athens they were written down for the first time. Okay, so it was, that means Iliad and Odyssey was compiled in Athens, that means 6000 BC, and at the time of compilation many incidents are added and revised of these two epic poems, Iliad and Odyssey, and attributed to a single author. His name is Homer. Okay, so that is the clue. Whenever one thinks of the existence of Homer, certain facts concerning the composition of the Iliad are firmly established. That is, it was composed in Athens, and Homer was born in parts of Asia Minor or Greeks. Okay, so this is their poet, that means the Greek poet. Okay, so these are. Originally, it was an oral composition meant to be sung and chanted for an audience. Okay, and research particularly on living birds in the former Yugoslavia has shown that epic length poems are composed and presented through a combination of stock phrases and scenes coupled with extemporaneous composition. Okay, there is a Charan Kobi, you know, but Charan Kobi, they have some capability. What is the capability? Instantly they can compile song or poem. Okay, so this Iliad and Odyssey was compiled by some extemporaneous মানে উপস্থিত বক্তৃতাটাকে বলা হয় এক্সটেম্পোরানাস স্পিচ। সেই এক্সটেম্পোরানাস স্পিচ মানে কি, সেই চারণ কবিরা কোনো একটা ঘটনা নিয়ে বলা হলো যে এই অ্যাকিলিস হচ্ছে বিখ্যাত হিরো ছিল, তার মা ছিল এরকম, তার বাবা ছিল এরকম, এটা বললে ওই ইনস্ট্যান্টলি তারা ওটা নিয়ে একটা কি কবিতা রচনা করতে পারে। ওকে ওকে, এই ইলিয়াড এবং ওডিসির ক্ষেত্রে বলা হচ্ছে যে এরকম বিভিন্ন চারণ কবিরা এই ইলিয়াড এবং ওডিসির ঘটনাগুলো কম্পাইল করেছে। ওকে, and the Iliad shows evidence of similar elements. Stock phrases and scenes exist from the epithets of the characters. Okay, so Agamemnon was echoed in a speech by Odysseus in the Odyssey. The catalogue of ships in Book 2 is also such a set piece, although it was probably added when the poem was written. Okay, so a catalogue of ships টাও বলা হচ্ছে যে এটাও পরে কি করা হয়েছে, যুক্ত করা হয়েছে। ওকে, সেটাও কত পরে, হয়তোবা 8th সেঞ্চুরি বিসিতে হচ্ছে এটা লেখা হয়েছে, আর এটা হলো 6th সেঞ্চুরি বিসিতে এথেন্সে হচ্ছে কম্পাইল করা হয়েছে। So, and generally contemporary scholarship believes that Iliad and Odyssey have a consistency of style. তার মানে ইলিয়াড এবং ওডিসি, এখন তার কনসিস্টেন্সি মানে কি, ইলিয়াডে যে স্টাইল আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি ওডিসিতেও এই একই স্টাইল, ক্যাটালগ অফ শিপ আছে, এখানে হিরো আছে, আন্ডারওয়ার্ল্ড জার্নি আছে, সবগুলো হচ্ছে কাছাকাছি কার মধ্যে, ইলিয়াড এবং ওডিসির মধ্যে। দ্যাট মিনস consistency of style, outlook indicating that they are the work of one writer. So the similarity of the style, invocation to muse, involvement of god and goddess, catalogue of ships and other things are quite similar in these two epic, that is Iliad and Odyssey. So this information proved that these two epic poems are written by a single author. His name is Homer. Okay, and these are the history of Homer, that is the writer of the epic poem we are going to study, and the title of this poem is Iliad.